Alright, today we're out here with Papa Bill again, and he's showing us a perfect tutorial of how to prune grapes. If you have grapes growing in your own backyard, whether it's just for your own home use or even commercially, it's important to prune them. You don't want all the wild growth going everywhere. You want to make your grapes easy to prune. You want to make the energy go towards producing big grapes and not tiny grapes. So watch this video here today with Papa Bill, and we'll show you how to prune grapes step by step.
Okay, so this morning we're going to look at pruning up some. These are very old, 30-plus-year-old grapevines, and you can see this is all the growth from last year. You'll see it all over the place here. These old canes that came out, and of course there was bunches of grapes. Here's an old bunch here that's dried up. This was a Thompson seedless variety, and of course these are good to eat, as well as they're wonderful to lay out on trays and let them dry out and make raisins out of them. So you get nice golden raisins out of them. All right, we're going to start here, and we're looking for, and you'll see here, we're just starting to get new growth. So see these little bitty buds right here. You'll see some right up here. These little buds here, and they will grow into canes, which then eventually grow little bunches on them. So we're going to come back and we're going to leave. We want this here bud to grow. So we're going to come out here a couple inches and we're going to prune that off, because this is going to die back slightly. So you want to leave plenty of growth there for that to happen. You can see here we're just starting to get new growth in here. It's still nice and green, which is very important. That means your vine is good. We're going to trim this one off here. So see, we've got new growth here. Same thing, I'm going to cut this one off here. We're going to leave these here to be able to grow and have fruit on them. All right, we're going to take that one off there. And right out here we have new growth. So see here, we got nice fresh bud growing there, and this will give us some limbs, and we're going to grow these out. And up here then is our wire, trellis wire, and this will come out, and then we'll train it up on here this spring as this gets a little longer. We're going to trim this old cane off. This is a 2-year-old cane. You can see this wood here compared to this whiter looking wood. This is last year's. So this bud last year started off and it grew into this here white cane. This one here is probably 2 or 3 years old. So we're going to take it off since it's growing down towards the ground. Of course, you want a nice pair of these little special shears and stuff here, or short handle, which are perfect for doing grapevines. You don't need the big long handles like you would use for pruning deciduous fruit trees. Alrighty, so we got that. So we've got plenty up here, so I'm going to take this one off here also. Now up here you can see these nice buds growing here again. So that's coming out here. So I'm going to go back here and cut this off out here long. Since we're going to get our dye back. And these buds here will all keep growing. I'm going to take this one off in here. I'm going to take this off up here. And these main ones, you can cut them closer. They're not like this here, because this is just going to heal over right there at that point there and seal up. Now here we go. We've got a nice bud up here. We're going to come back and we're going to cut this back here. This was last year's. I'll take that little thing off. So here it gives us some nice buds coming out, and these will grow out. I'm going to leave this a little long. I've got 4 nice buds on this one here, and these are all going to grow out. And then this spring, when we get a good dominant 1 or 2, well, then we're going to maybe thin off one of those there and just leave that. Okay, we'll come and work our way on around here. Now right here on top, I'm going to trim this one here. And I'm going to leave these buds. And you can see we got a few old buds up in here. So here's some nice buds that'll be fine. trim that. And here's some nice buds up in here. So those will all be able to grow. All right, coming down here, here's some nice buds here. And we'll leave those there. Now these here are called spurs on grapes. So we're cutting this here back to where we have some spurs with buds on them and stuff that'll grow in to your vine.
When
Now,
is the best time to prune grapes?
You want to do them while they're dormant, or even as you can see here, they're just starting to bud up, and you're still fine doing that. You could even do these with the leaves out if these buds are out even an inch or so long. But you want to do it back, I mean, this time or back in January or February. One of the things I'm looking at here is I've got a nice, big, long, healthy cane. Can you see this cane going across here?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to save that because part of this old grapevine, the whole stump here, has died off up here on top. So we're going to train this here to come back over and fill this area in, and then there'll be bunches of grapes that'll grow down off of that cane. So here we have a spur, and we've got a good bud here growing. It's okay. I'm going to take these off down below. Alrighty. Working our way around. One of the things when you're pruning grapes is, you know, this is just for our home garden. So you can do this yourself and you just work your way around the vine. If we were out in the field, vineyard, and we were growing commercially, we'd actually have one of us on the other side of the vine and one person on this side, and we would go along and they'd be pruning there and we would be pruning over here, and that way we just progress right on down the field. Here's our good cane that's growing over here. And see, we've got some nice buds here coming out here and here. So you can see right up here, this old vine right here on this side here has died off. And so I'm going to use this cane as a kind of a replacement. So it's hanging up and it's just growing out here. So I'm going to take it, bring it over top. Then I'm going to wrap it on our trellis wire here. Bring this little stem in right down around here. And I'm going to trim it off. And that way these are all going to continue to grow. And we can use those to train out here. And then we're going to have bunches of grapes that are going to grow down off of this here area. So this was all a point dead at one time. So now we're going to recover it and have some fruit on it. You can see when we originally grew this, we trained the vine to split down here, and this was the head. And we had these two big main scaffolds that went out and trained out here, but this whole thing has just gotten so old it's died off. But there's still enough health and growth in this here that we're going to have fruit on it. Okay, let's go down to this next vine here. You can see this big old vine. Again, we've trained it up years ago. And here's our big main heads and growth coming off both directions. You can tell this is very old because of these big old main scaffold growth here. And they're still pretty healthy. You can see up here we've got lots of good buds growing. So we're going to trim this off here and leave these. Okay. I'm going to leave a spur out here. There's a good spur up here with a real good bud on it. You can see coming down through here. Okay, let's get this out of the way here. Sometimes some of this wild stuff, you can just kind of trim it back and get it out of your way, or like these long growth out here, you can even just come back and just trim them off to where they're just out of your way. And that way you can get up in close and look at the vine and see where these buds and what areas you want to keep for this to grow. Okay, we can see on here, see there's no shoots on this right here. So we're going to come back and we're going to trim it off right back here. But I've still got a good bud over here. And that'll work. course, we're looking to take off dead wood, so if you see some dead spurs, so this would be a dead spur right up here. We take it off, and you can see right underneath there, see these nice buds coming out? That would be perfect. So we're going to trim this off right back up here, and we'll have those buds to work with. Now see, we have some good buds right here. These are all just starting to come out. So we're going to take this one here. On the back side of it over here, we have some growth here. We're going to take this off, and then we're going to leave this one right here, and same type of thing. We've got it right here next to our trellis, wire trellis here. And this is just a single wire. Sometimes you'll have like double wires running up here that you can train your canes on. And sometimes additionally you'll have a single wire down here at about waist height. And same thing, you can have a cane growing on it, and you'll have fruit spurs on those there that'll go out, and that way you have bunches of grapes hanging down off of this single vine. And then up here, if you had the double, you would have bunches of grapes hanging down here, and then the same on the other side of the vine. Right here, we had a cane die off here, an entire cane or grapevine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring a cane, and we have been doing this for the last 2 years. We brought a cane from this real healthy grapevine here, and you can see this big cane. You see that in here? So this is about a 3-year-old cane now, and we're training it to come down our trellis. So now this is replacing this here entire grapevine. So these nice big old long healthy canes, we've picked one out and we brought it across here, and so here's some real nice spurs that we'll keep. We'll trim them off and keep 2 or 3 buds on them. And so as I've traveled across here, then I brought another cane now, and you can see this one right here. And of course, here's some good spurs on there. We'll trim that off and keep our distance. And so we brought this one underneath here to further add 2 more fruiting wood down through here. And so we've got these spurs on here that we're going to keep and use. This one here, I'm going to bob it off right at this point here. And we're going to take that and we're going to tuck it right in under here and keep it right up here on our trellis. So again, as we talked about earlier, if we had another single wire down here at about waist height going across here, we could use this cane, which this is a nice healthy cane with lots of good fruiting spurs on it. We could train it right along on this wire if we still had a wire right here.
All right, well, I hope you found that video super helpful. Papa Bill has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to farming, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the comments. And if you want to learn more about growing fruit, we have an entire video on planting bare root fruit trees, and you can just head to this video right here and check out how to plant your own backyard fruit trees.